All right. How's everyone doing? It's Mr. Burns here. We're going to talk about the bill to law process, the lawmaking process, what you might hear it called as well. We're going to focus on the national level of government here, but the process is pretty similar at the state level as well. Just a couple minor changes, and we'll review those in class coming up. So here's the bill to law process. Remember, they're focusing on expressed and implied powers. There's also a video there that you can type into your search bar, and it's a good video about the shutdown of 2013, which didn't last as long as the shutdown of 2019. Okay, so you should have this handout in front of you while you're going to take the notes. Okay, you fill in the notes in the spaces provided. All right, so the first step, you're going to write this on number 1, is the bill needs to be introduced or proposed by a member of the Congress. Okay, so a U.S. Senator or a representative. So you as a citizen cannot, while you can suggest a law to a congressman, you cannot actually go in front of Congress and propose a law. They propose the law. President cannot propose laws. Same thing, suggest laws. The president's involved in the lawmaking process. You'll see as well in different ways. Member of the Supreme Court, again, they are determining the constitutionality of laws, but they're not involved in creating the laws. That's the legislative branch's main purpose. All right, so one thing I want to talk about is I'm going to pull up here our online textbook, and I want to look here at the Congress is the 111th, 112th, 113th. We're in the 115th Congress now, but let's look at some of these ideas here. Of the bills that were proposed, okay, only under 3% became laws, enacted into laws. That is unbelievable. So it shows you how complex this process is. And it should be, because think about it, there's a couple of questions here, and I don't know which one you agree with. It could be both. Are the members of Congress unwilling to work together, and that's why we only have 2.8, 2.3% of the bills passed into law? Or is it because this should be a complex process? Because only, these laws are going to affect the entire nation, so should they be a little bit more rigid, right? This process should be really rigid. And, that's up to you to decide that. All right, let's go back. Let's look at number 2. After the bill is introduced on the floor, it is sent to a committee. And in the committee, they review, research, and revise the bill. Sometimes they scrap the bill at this step. Many bills don't make it past this step. Here's another. I want to show you all the possible committees that the bill could be sent to. If it's proposed by a member of the House of Representatives, a member of the Senate, or it could be a joint committee if it deals with one of these issues. So you can pause this at any time and look at some of these. This is just Wikipedia. And there's also subcommittees that work within these committees. Okay, and congressmen are usually on several committees. Sometimes they're a chair person. Majority party gets to pick the chairperson. All right. Step 3 in the lawmaking process. So you have if it gets out of committee, it goes back to its house of origin, where the bill is debated by the members of that house or that chamber, and then it is voted on, and all it needs is a majority. You just need a majority here, simple majority, for it to move on to the next level. Okay? Then it goes to the other house, and they do the whole thing over again. Okay? And if it passes this house, then it goes onto the desk of the president. They send the bill there, who can either sign into law or veto the entire bill. The president does not have the ability or the power to veto parts of the bill. It's either the whole thing is vetoed or the whole thing is passed. Okay? All right. So the next few bullets here are just some details that kind of further explain why laws are passed and details about the lawmaking process. So public policy, that's part of the reason that Congress writes laws, is there's a problem in society, there's an issue, there's a big group of people who are upset about something, and they will respond to that by writing a law. Okay. Two groups that really help shape the legislation: individuals. Like I said, individuals can meet with Congress people and but lobbyists as well through interest groups in order to make change, make that laws change. And there's certain laws right now that are being hotly debated. The Second Amendment and gun rights and immigration and things of these nature. All right. Remember, the Constitution limits Congress. Congress can only do, it has express powers and implied powers, but Congress cannot overstep into state powers and into powers of other branches. All right, so remember, only a United States Senator or Representative can introduce a bill. Here's Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Orrin Hatch is the pro tempore of the Senate. Nancy Pelosi right now number 3 to be the President of the United States, and Orrin Hatch is number 4 in the line of succession. Okay. All right. Now I want you to create a little mnemonic device to help you remember the 6 steps. So introduce, committee, debate, vote, other house, send. Now we did Let's Eat Jelly Beans for the 3 branches. Do something kind of fun. You can make something kind of quirky, something kind of that might rhyme or something that makes sense. That's going to help you remember the steps. But then don't forget, you have to then be able to apply it to the 6 steps of the lawmaking process. Okay? I want to show you before we conclude here is the actual lawmaking process. We really simplify it for you. But really, there's about 20 steps to the process. Okay? Where it's written, it's proposed, it's voted on in both houses, it's introduced, it's placed on the hopper, assigned a number, like all these different steps. We kind of condense them, right? There's committees, there's subcommittees, there's rules committee to make sure it doesn't violate the Constitution, etc. And then finally it becomes a law. So it's actually, we narrow it down from about 20 steps to about 6 steps. So we really simplified that process for you. All right, if you have questions, let me know. And then we'll get going here with the